whatever you call off on that side, you don't got to call off on this side, you know, to save time. So this is your upper radiator hose. You can squeeze it. You can obviously tell there's fluid in it. You want to make sure there's no abrasions, balls, or cuts, not leaking any fluid. Make sure you check your clamps. Make sure your clamps are on there tight and secure. These are your refrigerant lines. You want to make sure there's no abrasions, balls, cuts. Obviously, make sure it's not leaking. The metal tubing portions, make sure it's not cracked or broken. Now, if you follow these lines, it goes to your AC compressor. So you want to make sure your AC compressor seems to be properly secured. All your electrical connections are secured. There's no cut, torn, or frayed wires. You got your alternator here, which that also secured. Check the cables that go to it. Make sure that they're secured. There's no cut, torn, or frayed wires. And both of those, plus your fan, they're all belt driven. So they want to hear the words gear driven and belt driven. The belt itself, there's a measurement on it. You want to pull on it. Make sure you have no more than 3/4 of an inch of play on your belt. The belt itself, just like a seat belt, there's no cuts, frays, or tears. You want to check your fan. You can spin it, some you can't. Check the fan, make sure there's no cracked, broken, or missing fins on your fan blade. You have your air dryer here. Want to make sure the housing's not cracked or broken, it's not leaking. Check your lines, make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no audible leaks. And then check all your electrical connections. Make sure they're all good and the wires are intact, they're not cut or torn or frayed. You have your, like this goes to your air inlet. So you got your gauge up here. You want to make sure that the needle's in the green, indicating that your filter's still good. You have your plastic tubing here that it goes into your turbo. Same thing with your cold air intake, they both go into your turbo. So you want to make sure that the tubing itself is not cracked or broken. This metal tubing here, not cracked or broken. This plastic rubber pipe here, or this hose here, make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, you know, and it's not torn or anything like that. Same thing here. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Check all your clamps. Same thing this one here, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Switch your turbo. You want to make sure it's properly secured, and you're looking for leaks. So you're smelling for exhaust leaks. You're looking for any black soot around it and any oil leaking from it, because they use the motor oil to lubricate itself. And that's for your turbo. Up here you have your manifold. So you want to make sure that your manifold is properly secured, it's not cracked or broken. You don't smell any exhaust leaks or see any black soot. And that goes same thing too for this flex pipe here. You want to just look at it and still look at your exhaust periodically while you go down. Just make sure that your exhaust, you know, you don't smell any leaks or see any black soot or anything like that, indicating you could have a broken section in your exhaust. You got your, save that shit for last. You got your fan shroud here for your radiator. You want to make sure that's properly secured. You know, it's not cracked or broken. Inside here, this metal casing, you have your radiator. Obviously, the radiator secure. Look underneath. Make sure it ain't leaking. And then you got your windshield washer fluid reservoir. It looks like it's at least halfway, which is okay. And the cap is on there, tight and secure. So that should be everything for under the hood.
This again? What is it?
This is, I think it's like another type of, it's another air